بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين وعلى من تبع هداهم إلى يوم الدين. Indeed, all praise is to Allah. We praise Him, seek His aid and ask His forgiveness. We seek refuge in Allah from the evils of ourselves and from the evils of our actions. Whomsoever Allah guides and can lead astray, and whomsoever Allah leads astray and can guide, I bear witness that there is none worthy of worship except for Allah alone, having no partner, and I bear witness that Muhammad is a slave and His messenger. Would like the brothers please come forward, instead of sitting in the back and being vulnerable to the shaitan. I keep saying this how many years now? Brothers, come forward, come forward, yeah, come forward. Don't listen to the back, and because it's not really right. There's one of the sisters just said to her husband, and her husband talked to me yesterday. So the amount I've seen at the video of the Sheikh all the time, he's always saying, come forward. I wish the sisters are listening, we will come forward. So the brothers are not really keen to come forward to the class. So why the brothers are not they're doing this, basically. So if the sister she's teaching, they would have come forward. So it's very important that we adhere to the commands of the Prophet ﷺ when he said to us, مَا لِي أَرَاكُمْ عِزِينَ, why do I see you scattered? إِنَّ تَفَرُّقَكُمْ هَذَا مِنَ الشَّيْطَانِ. The barakah will not be there. And the barakah is always with the sunnah. Wherever the sunnah is, there's a barakah, inshallah. So then, inshallah, the next 3 classes we'll be discussing the month of Sha'baan and the month of Ramadan. So this class, another 2 classes, and then will be Ramadan, inshallah. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah. In the name of Allah, most beneficent, the most gracious, we praise Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and we seek as well salutation upon His Messenger Muhammad, may peace and blessings be upon him. For verily, to start with the month of Sha'baan, every ibadah which is important, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala puts a ibadah before and after, which we call it supererogatory or voluntary. So the salah, which is the fard, it has a voluntary ibadah, which is the sunnah before and the sunnah after. Same thing with the month of Ramadan. It's an obligatory month, and we do have a month before it, which is the month of Sha'ban, and the month after it, which is the month of Shaban. So both these months are considered to be months or voluntary months. And the blessings of this voluntary is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He had made it easy upon us if we missed an obligatory. But we cannot make up for that obligatory except by doing voluntary. For verily, the Prophet ﷺ, he said regarding the prayer, أول ما يحاسب عليه العبد يوم القيامة صلاته. The first thing you're going to be accounted for on the day of resurrection is your prayer. If it was complete, it will be written complete. And if it was not complete, then Allah Azza wa Jalla will command His angels to look into the voluntary and compensate what is missed from the obligatory. No way that if you have missed the Dhuhr prayer, that you'll be able to pray the Dhuhr at the time of the Asr. No way. Because you've missed it. But unless you have missed it for legitimate reason, and the Prophet made an exception for this, that is, if a person had slept through the time of the prayer, or he had forgotten the prayer, then let him pray whenever he remembers it. But let's say this person had deliberately pushed it outside his time. There's no such thing. There is what some of the people call qaza, meaning qada, that you do the prayer that you have missed deliberately to put in a different time. It's impossible. The same thing here with the month of Ramadan. For verily, the month of Ramadan also has, days. If you miss them deliberately, no way you're going to compensate for those days, except that you repent to Allah, same thing as the prayer, and what do? That is, you increase in voluntary. You fast as much as possible from the voluntary. But if you missed it for a certain reason, فَمَنْ كَانَ مِنْكُمْ مَرِيضًا أَوْ عَلَى سَفَرٍ, was been upon a journey, or he was ill, then let him فَعِدَّةٌ مِنْ أَيَّامٍ أُخَرَ, let him compensate on other days. So you have an exception if you have a legitimate excuse to make the compensation of the fast. But if you haven't, this is what the voluntary where it comes in. And the voluntary of the Sha'ban and the Shawwal. The Sha'ban is a month which is a month that is being blessed. Blessed with two things. It comes before Ramadan, so it's a spiritual preparation, and also it is a bodily preparation. The month of Sha'baan, the month where we find, this is the second issue, that the deeds are lifted up, which is more than the deeds which are lifted up every Ithnain and Khamis. And also the forgiveness of Allah is plus, which is a forgiveness more than Allah's forgiveness on the day when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has the deeds of the slaves to be presented to Him. It's a forgiveness plus. Also, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the month of Sha'baan, in the night which we're going to be talking about, He descends, and it's a descendants plus. It's more than the descendants in the last third of every night. Now when we say descendants more and plus, it doesn't mean He descends less down. No, descendants as in descendants coupled with more issues. So, let's talk about it first of all from that particular aspect. That is number one, that is the month of Sha'baan is a month which is a spiritual preparation. Spiritual preparation for verily, we're coming now to the days of Ramadan, and not more than 22 nights and that's it. Ramadan is another Ramadan yet. And I presume that I've talked about this subject many times. But I've looked at some of the videos that I've talked in a class. I thought I would add another dimension here, which is the voluntary dimension, which hasn't been talked about here regarding the month of Ramadan. The spiritual preparation is that the person, he needs, just like he needed those days before the day of Al-Adha, the best of the days of the sight of Allah, preceded by 9 good days, to prepare you for the best of all days. It's like a sin expiation, self-preparation. Same thing with Sha'baan. Sha'baan also like a sin expiation, self-preparation, same thing, spiritual training. So before you come to Ramadan, you're cleansed and you are more ready to the month of the ibadah. So this can be seen in the following way. The Prophet ﷺ, he said, verily, when he was saying, and I would start with Aisha, كان رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم لا يستكمل صيام شهر إلا رمضان. The Prophet of Allah never completed fasting a month except for the month of Ramadan. وما رأيته أكثر صياما منه في شعبان. I've never seen him fasting more than any other month except the month of Shaban. That means I have seen him fasting in the month of Shaban more than I have seen him in fasting on any other month, save Ramadan. He fasts all of it. And he used to fast so much that we used to say that he does not break his fast. We used to break his fast so much that we used to say that he does not fast. Prophet ﷺ, why he was fasting so much in the month of Sha'ban? Whereas we know that the Prophet of Allah, he said, the best of the fast after the fast of Ramadan is, in terms of rank-wise, the month of Al-Muharram. No doubt about that. The fast of the month of the Muharram is the best in terms of the best of the fast. But the Prophet of Allah, even though he said it's the best, it does not mean that he would fast most in the best. Just like he said the best of Umrah is in Ramadan, none of his Umrahs, which is 4 Umrahs, in Ramadan. The best of the Umrahs is in Ramadan. Why did he fast a lot in the month of Sha'ban? Usama ibn Zayd radiyallahu anhu, he says, when I have seen this from the Prophet of Allah, he said, Messenger of Allah, أراك تصوم من شعبان ما لا تصومه في غيره من أشهر العام. I could see you, Messenger of Allah, fasting in the month of Sha'ban, which I can't see you doing the same in other months, save Ramadan. He said, ذاك شهر يغفل الناس عنه. This is the important issue. A month which the people do not pay attention to. And how many people pay attention to the month of Sha'ban? They pay attention to the month of Christmas, December, in order to get the holidays, the month of April, in order to know the Easter. But the month of Sha'ban, who's going to pay attention to it? So the Prophet ﷺ, he said, ذَاكَ شَهْرٌ يَغْفُرُ النَّاسُ عَنْهُ. Male and female, they're oblivious. They are not really caring about that month. قال فيه ترفع الأعمال. In it, the deeds are lifted to the Almighty. And the deeds are lifted in every Al-Ithnain and Al-Khamis. But this lifting is extra. قال ترفع فيه الأعمال إلى الله سبحانه وتعالى. The deeds are lifted to Allah, and I like for my deeds to be lifted while I'm fasting. So the Prophet ﷺ is saying, because of the deeds are lifted up, I would like my deeds to be coupled with fasting, because fasting makes it even extra rewardable. That's why I'm fasting, and that is why I would like to as well remind the brothers, that it reminds my ummah regarding this issue, which is that a month not being paid attention to. Now, some of the brothers might say, I can't fast. Too many work, too much things. I can't really do the voluntary fast. So you could fast al-Ithnain wal-Khamis, alhamdulillah. You fast 3 days in the middle of the month, alhamdulillah. But some that can't do that. Then, akhi, do not forget charity. Any type of good deeds, ibadah, charity, zakah, to pay sadaqah, to pay good deeds, any good deeds, not to forget any good deeds regarding the month of Sha'baan. For verily, ذَاكَ شَهْرٌ يَغْفُلُ النَّاسُ. It's between Rajab and Ramadan. These days the people are not just oblivious because of Rajab and Ramadan, they're oblivious from Rajab itself as well. Ramadan is not even in their account, nor it is as well Sha'baan. So Rajab is not there. So that is something that the Muslims who are dedicated to the religion, they will forget about Sha'baan, because it's between Rajab and Ramadan. Of these days the Muslims are not really keen to know that is the month of Rajab itself, not to say the month of Sha'baan. The other issue, Prophet ﷺ, he said, Inna fi Sha'baan, verily, the night in Sha'baan, there's a night. ينزل الله تبارك وتعالى, Allah descends down in that night, which is the midnight of Sha'baan, إلى السماء الدنيا, to the nearest heaven, and that is فيغفر لجميع خلقه, he would forgive to all his creation, to all his ibad, slaves of Allah, and jinn and mankind, إلا إنسان في قلبه شحناء أو مشرك بالله عز وجل, except for two types of people, the ones who have grudge or malice towards his brothers, that is, something to do with the dunya, nothing to do with the deen. If it's to do with the deen, then we will say to the person, use that boycotting as a medicine. So if the person is an innovator or does an innovation, then you have to remind him. If he doesn't listen, send him somebody else. If you think boycotting him would make him to stop from his innovation, then do so and keep that boycotting even during the 15th night of Sha'ban. So, in that, we say the person, he needs now, after this lecture, straight away to settle his disputes regarding dunya wives, the person you did not speak to, especially if you are boycotting close relatives of yours. Not to say, some of them boycotting their brothers and sisters or father or mother. Allahu musta'an. Don't do that. As a father boycotting his son, he has the right to do that. Father or a mother boycotting her son, because they don't boycott except that that son is an insolent, undutiful. So that son, he should be rushing and running towards his father, even if he thinks his father is mistaken. He needs to make his father pleased with him. Otherwise, you're not going to be included in that mercy. What you are after? You're after forgiveness. If you're not forgiven, you're going to be in the hellfire. So the dunya is gone and it's finished. So let you make sure that before the 15th night, all that account is settled. So, alhamdulillah, the 15th night of Sha'ban, I don't want to be a person who has some sort of grudge towards my brothers. If this person is an innovator and you needed to boycott him, physically, no problem, but don't boycott him from your dua. Keep making dua to Allah that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will bring him back. Then we come to the second one, which is the shirk. The shirk is of two types. Major will take you outside of the fold of Islam, and these people are not going to be forgiven, whether the 15th night or any night. They're not going to be forgiven. And the other one is the ones who are having shirk asghar. minor shirk. Shirk akbar invalidates all your deeds, take you outside the fold of Islam. Minor shirk will not be as well tolerated in terms of forgiveness in that night. Yes, some of the scholars, like Ibn Taymiyyah, he says that even the minor shirk will not be forgiven. Yes, it will not put you into the eternal hellfire, but you will be punished. You'll be punished for that. You'll be tortured. You'll be put into the hellfire for that minor shirk. It is not under the verse which says, "Inna Allah la yaghfiru wa yushraka bih wa yaghfiru ma duna dhalika liman yasha." Allah does forgive anything below the shirk. Now the shirk here, he means shirk akbar and asghar, according to the understanding of whom? Of Ibn Taymiyyah and other scholars. So the shirk, if I want to talk about it, it's more than 2, 3, 4 lectures. But in general, shirk, association, something or somebody with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the major of it is like vying for Allah, slaughtering for the sake of Allah, worshipping an idol, prostrating to an idol, all of that shirk akbar. And also from the shirk al-asghar, which is the hidden shirk as well, that the shirk al-asghar making riya, but not too much riya, little riya. Not all your ibadah is riya. Otherwise, it'll keep major shirk. So minor riya, that is a minor shirk. You need to keep away from it. Otherwise, you're not going to be included amongst those people who will be forgiven on that night. Now, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we know that He descends down every last third of a night. Every last third of a night, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala descends. Now, we do not apply the physical laws onto Allah because Allah is the creator of the physical laws. We know for a fact that now there's a third of a night in somewhere else. And in every second, there is a last third of a night. In every moment, there is a last third of a night. So, do not say that Allah Azza wa Jal is always down. It doesn't mean that. Because you are applying, as I said, the earth and the gravity and the physical laws onto Allah. It does not apply like that. Allah the Almighty is the creator of everything. So, you cannot implement Allah or implement the laws onto Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We say He descends suitable to His Majesty. In the last third of a night, of every night, He would descend and He would say, مَن يَسْتَغْفِرُنِي فَأَغْفِرَ لَهُ مَن يَسْأَلُنِي فَأُعْطِيهُ مَن يَدْعُنِي فَأَسْتَجِيبَ لَهُ. He who asks me, and I will forgive him. He who requests my forgiveness, and I will forgive him. He who asks, مَن يَسْتَغْفِرُنِي مَن يَسْأَلُنِي, that is, he who asks me, and I will grant it, and who does as well supplicate to me, مَن يَدْعُنِي فَأَسْتَجِيبَ لَهُ, and I will respond to him. So supplication, asking and seeking forgiveness, all of that. But on the midnight of Sha'baan, you don't do, Allah Azza wa Jalla does not ask. He will forgive to everybody. What do I need to do in that night? Nothing, apart from saving myself from the shirk at any moment, and also making sure that I am settling my disputes with my brothers. My brothers, the sisters of course, and with my sisters as well. So all of that to be settled, whether they are relatives or not relatives. And there is no fast the night or the day before or the day after, and there's no qiyam the night before. So there is no fast on the 14th, there is no fast on the 15th, and there is no night qiyam before the 15th. Now, this year we have the midnight of Sha'baan happens to be the night following next Al-Ithnain. So Al-Ithnain, that night after it, which is we call it in Islam, Yawm al-Thulatha, the night of al-Thulatha. In English, you call it the night of Al-Ithnain. But for us Muslims, the night precedes the day. So the night of al-Thulatha is the midnight of Sha'baan. You've got about another 7 nights to go. So next Al-Ithnain, the midnight of Shaban. Yes? Inshallah. So we have documented that. Now the bodily preparation for this month is that the person needs to make a flavor for the month of Ramadan. Prophet ﷺ said, إِذَا انْتَصَفَ شَعْبَانَ فَلَا تَصُومُ. If you reach the midpoint of Sha'ban, that is the day of Al-Monday, the day of Ithnain this year, do not fast. Do not fast means voluntary fast. Unless It's a habitual fast. It's a habitual fast. You've been fasting al-Ithnain wal-Khamis. Keep continuing doing that. If you're fasting, for example, a day breaking the following day, keep doing that. For very, the Prophet ﷺ, he used to fast so much in Sha'baan, كَانَ يَصِلُهُ بِرَمَضَانِ. He joined it with Ramadan. Do you understand? He used to fast with Sha'baan, and he joins it with Ramadan. So he fasts the 30th day or the 29th day of Sha'baan. Whereas the Prophet of Allah, he said, do not preempt Ramadan by a day or two, except if it happens to be a habitual fast. Not only that, Ammar ibn Yasir, he says, Man sama yawm al-shak, faqad asa al-qasim. He who fasts the day of the doubt, then he had disobeyed the Almighty Subhanahu, disobeyed the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So do not fast the day which we don't know whether it is the day of Sha'ban, the 30th, or whether it is the 1st of Ramadan. But if it happens to be a habitual fast, no problem. The second exception is for those who are having obligatory fast. That's a day from Ramadan, previous Ramadan, they did not fast it, or they made a vow, or an expiation. Those three types of obligatory. So, if a person had something from the Ramadan, like Aisha, she said, we, the wives of the Prophet of Allah, when we miss days from Ramadan, we don't have the opportunity to make it up until the following Sha'ban, because we've been preoccupied with the matter of the Prophet of Allah. What is that preoccupation? Engaged in war, in battles, in delegates, in entertaining those guests and people coming. Because of that, and of course their menses and menstruation, because of that, they couldn't have time to fast the missed days of Ramadan until 10 months later. It is not permissible for the person to postpone his days of Ramadan that he missed until the Ramadan which is after. He has to do them up before the coming of Ramadan. If he postponed it, then he will be sinned. Is there an expiation? No expiation. But he will be sinned. And is it going to be exempted? No, he has to fast them even after Ramadan. So you got until Ramadan. Now, am I allowed to postpone without any reason? That's a controversial. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He says, وَسَائِرُ إِلَى مَغْفِرَةٍ مِّن رَبِّكُمْ وَجَنَّةٍ عَرْضُهَا السَّمَاوَاتُ وَالْأَرْضُ. Hasten the process to the forgiveness of your Lord and to the Jannah, to the garden, which the width of it is heaven and earth. So, here's a command. We're not allowed to postpone our making up from the obligatory. I was asked a question by a brother who has got some traveling to a certain area in the north. He said, I'm going to travel to an area in the north and I'm not going to be able to pray my Taraweeh because all the masajid there, they're upon the Sufi madhab, there is no masjid. I said, okay. So what about my fast? Because I'm on a journey and I want to as well to have a concession. Can I just postpone my fast? When he asked me this question, in the back of my mind, I knew why he's asking that as well. I said, okay, well the prayer, put it aside now. Just answer me for the questions, for the fasting, sorry. I'm saying, okay, you're traveling, you have the concession. But which is better? Now I'm asking you, are you want to have this concession because you're a traveler, or you are thinking, because it's a concession, I'm taking this opportunity so I could fast my missed days in the winter? He said yes. So it's not actually the concession. It's like he wants to make these days up where very short day, half a day. I said, okay. He said to me, I said, okay, we'll bring me, inshallah, a paper from the angel of death that you have the time until that day. Then I will say to you, okay, inshallah. If you have a paper from the angel of death saying that you're going to be guaranteed not to die, then you could do that. Of course I can't do that. So well, I can't give you that. If you have the intention of making up whenever it's possible, then break up the fast. Yes, no problem. It's a concession. Now, but because you are now doing it, because you want to push it towards those days, not allowed. Yes, if you have traveling after traveling, you could, because you can't do it, then you've been pushed, no problem. But if you pre-plan to do them in the winter, that's not right. Ikhwan, Ramadan is always easy, wallahi. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes it easy. We have passed the difficult days when we had the 12 21st of June in the middle of Ramadan. So we had days before and days after really long. Now it's only the end of Ramadan is going to be long. The beginning of Ramadan is not long. So always have help from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah Azza will help you. So do not cheat, basically. So the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam also, when he said that hadith, when he said ينزل الله تبارك وتعالى إلى السماء الدنيا, he does not mean that Allah needs to descend in order for him to forgive for us. But no, the descendance is to show the importance of that night, and the descendants because Allah willed for himself to descend. He doesn't need to descend in order to forgive. But the descendants is to show the importance of the night. And he wills for himself to descend. A descendants which is suitable to his majesty. When we say descending Allah Azza wa Jal, we understand what is descending. But does it mean like the descendants of us? No, it doesn't. Because when we descend, if I put this wallet, make it descend down, the air will fill the gap. That's the law of physics. Nothing to do with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And you leave a gap. That's nothing to do with Allah Azza wa Jal. Allah descends the way He wishes. So we don't understand because we don't know how Allah looked like. So we don't understand how Allah descends. We affirm the descendants and we negate the how. But there is a how. Listen to me. We negate the how, but there is a how. The existence of the how, there is, but we don't have that how. So we affirm the meaning. We affirm the how, but we don't know what is the how. How is the how? How He descends. But there is a way of Allah descending, but we don't know what it is. Also the Prophet ﷺ in this month is to increase in the fast in order to be kind to his wives. Because Aisha, she said that we used to make up those days in the month of Sha'baan. It would help a lot if the husband would fast along with his wives to make up these days. So we understand now why the Prophet of Allah used to fast a lot in the month of Sha'baan. Number one, people used to be oblivious, not caring about that month. So he wants to remind them this month is important. Number two, it's a month where the deeds are lifted up. Number three, it's because of his wives. So the wives of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And number four, Prophet of Allah, he likes his deeds when it's lifted up. He likes to be fasting when his deeds are lifted up. This is the fourth reason. So the fourth reason, third one, the deeds are lifted up. Fourth reason is that he likes himself to be fasting while his deeds are presented to the Almighty subhanahu wa ta'ala. Also the Prophet ﷺ in the hadith in Sunan Abi Dawud, كان يتحفظ من شعبان ما لا يتحفظ من غيره من الأشهر. Prophet of Allah is too keen to count for Sha'baan, which he does not do in any other month. So the Prophet of Allah, he said, أحصوا عدة شعبان. 3 months are important in the year to make sure that you sight. All the sightings takes place for all the months. So the sighting for all the months. But those 3 months, they are very important. Ramadan, Dhul Hijjah, and Sha'baan. Why Sha'baan? For Ramadan. So Ramadan, to know when you fast and when you break your fast for the Eid. And Dhul Hijjah for the Hajj, to know the day of Arafah, the day of Eid. And the third one, Sha'baan, in order to know what? Ramadan. So he used to count for Sha'baan. So when the Prophet ﷺ, he said, قال أحصوا عدة شعبان. No, count. قال فإن غم عليكم. You didn't see the crescent. When do you don't see the crescent? Because if you count from the beginning, on the 30th night of Sha'baan, you start sighting. If it is a moon crescent, then the following day is what? Ramadan. If you don't see the crescent, then you make it what? 30th of Sha'baan. So you have to count. So the month of Sha'baan is very important to count for it, in order that we distinguish Ramadan. And that is why the Prophet ﷺ also, he said, إِذَا انْتَصَفَ شَعْبَانَ فَلَا تَصُومُ. So Ramadan has to have a flavor of its own, not to be like, like any other day. And I want us as well in this year to have another flavor for this Ramadan, because lots of people these days, Ramadan for them is a month for dieting. He's got some weight, he wants to drop it. Some people, the month of Ramadan is for them the month of, we're going to prepare ourselves for food and, and for drinks, and ruh afza has to be, ready. Which I've never drank in all Ramadan. Ruh afza, isn't it, the pink drink for the brothers of Pakistan, they always, okay? I'm not saying don't do it, but I'm just saying that some people, those drinks is only for Ramadan. We have qataif, other places qataif, tell me qataif. عندكم قطايف ولا ما عندكم؟ أنا بعرف خبر يعني. هاي اللي بيه بعرف قطايف. الجريمة الجزائرية. إيش عندكم الصومال؟ سمبوسة. باكستان روح أفضل. Sambusa in Somalia. So some of the people have sambusa for Ramadan. So no, Ramadan is for you for Ramadan, Quran, I'm doing ibadah, alhamdulillah. That's what Ramadan is for. Okay, it's nothing to do with making sure that my fridge is full of birds and chicken and meat and all of that. Some people, they prepare themselves. I told you one day, because in our country, beginning before Ramadan, there will be emergency. So, yeah, there will be queues on the bakery shop for bread, queues on the supermarkets, queues, lots of queues, big queue. So, ask the brothers and Arabs, night before, it's an emergency. So, I met this person, a relative of mine, and he was saying, I prepared myself for another month of Ramadan. Alhamdulillah, I've got ready, not like these people. I thought we were talking about, ibadah. Not like those people. He said, I've got 30 birds. Allah, he said like this. He didn't say 30 chicken. He said, بالعربي عندي الحمد لله اشتريت 30 طير. Allah, you remember it. طير means bird. I bought 30 birds. That means every day there's a bird for him. Chicken. He's prepared, mashallah. Better than these people, they're not prepared. Allah al-Musta'an. So he's got a freezer which could take 30 chicken. Must be like a big freezer, this one. Professional factory freezers. So be careful. Some people take the month of sleeping, month of Ramadan. PlayStation is preparing some games. How can you really spend the time of Ramadan? We come to kill the time, subhanAllah. Kill the time. No problem if a person works and half of work, half day, no problem. Because lots of work, makes you tired. Don't exert yourself too much in Ramadan. So if you could prepare some sort of timetable with your company that you, for example, deduction from the salary, half work, half a day, it's good for yourself, good for your ibadah, because you need to do taraweeh, you need to do, and so maybe half a day or 3/4 a day would be better. That's nothing to do with laziness. No. As long as you fill up your time with, something which is beneficial. Even sleeping is beneficial, because you need to sleep. You need to sleep, your body needs to sleep. So, we start the moon for Sha'baan, alhamdulillah, we know now the Sha'baan, the beginning of it. And then after that, we prepare ourselves on the night, which is the midnight of Sha'baan. And then we prepare ourselves to do as much as possible from the, good deeds. As I said, charity. You have days now you can fast. Don't forget to fast the 13th and the 14th and the 15th. So, don't forget to fast. That is the day of Al-Ahad, which is it's going to be the 13th, and the Ithnain, the 14th, and the Thulatha, the 15th. Okay? Fast these days. And then after that, if you have a habitual fast, you continue. Otherwise, don't fast. Wait until Ramadan. حتى يجيء رمضان. إذا انتصف شعبان فلا تصوموا حتى يجيء رمضان. This is the hadith. So, 13th, which is Al-Ahad, please, instead of chit-chatting WhatsApp rubbish, send a message to the brothers. Al-Ahad, Al-Ithnain, Al-Thulatha. Those days are Al-Ayyam al-Bid. Is it Al-Ayyam al-Bid or Ayyam al-Bid? Is it Al-Ayyam al-Bid or Ayyam al-Bid? It's Ayyam al-Bid. What is it Al-Ayyam al-Bid? Ayyam al-Bid. It is the days of the white nights. Why they call white nights? Because the full moon. But we don't say al-ayyam al-bid, that means the white days. The days are whites anyway. Full of sun. So the ayyam al-bid, the days of the white nights. The white nights because they are full moon. طيب. Now, we do have a hadith from the Prophet ﷺ with Imran ibn Husayn. Imran ibn Husayn, he said, either the Prophet of Allah, he asked me, or he asked another man. The narrator, he was in doubt. Which one? Did he ask Imran ibn Husayn, or did he ask another man? But it doesn't concern us whether he asked Imran ibn Husayn, or asked another man. What concerns what the Prophet he asked him. He said, هل صمت سرار شعبان سرار or sarar. Sirar or sarar? Or sarar. Sarar Sha'baan. Did you fast Sarar Sha'baan? He said, no, Messenger of Allah. He said, when you break your fast after Ramadan, then fast 1 or 2 days. Now, what is Sarar? Sarar Sha'baan, scholars are different. Most of the scholars say it's the end of Sha'baan. The end of Sha'baan. Some of them said the beginning of the Sha'baan. Some of them said the middle of Sha'baan. If it's the beginning of Sha'baan, we understand it. No problem. He's fasting Sarar Sha'baan. He's fasting days and beginning. He's asking the Prophet, you ask him, no messenger, what? Fasting. At the middle of Sha'baan, we are talking about, we know that the Ayyam al-Bid, which is the 13th, the 14th, the 15th, no problem. But the end of Sha'baan, it contradicts the hadith of the Prophet. If Sha'baan is to reach the middle, don't fast after that. The reconciliation is very easy. Is that the days that this companion is fasting is a habitual fast. Do you understand that? It's a habitual fast. So he fasts them all the time. Prophet, did you fast this habitual fast? He said, no, Messenger of Allah. Now he said, then after Ramadan is finished, then fast a day or 2 days. Now, can we compensate for an voluntary? This is a different talk now. A topic is attached to it. Can we, like, let's say, a person, he missed his 2 sunnah for Dhuhr. Can he pray them after Dhuhr? Yes. We apply, well, if there was no hadith, we can't apply anything. The hadith, what it says, مَنْ نَامَ عَنْ صَلَاةٍ أَوْ نَسِيَهَا فَلْيُصَلِّيهَا إِذَا لَا كَفَّارَةَ لَهَا إِلَّا ذَلِكَ. He who sleeps from the time of the prayer, or he forgets the prayer, then let him pray when he remembers. So if he forgot the 2 sunnah before, he could make them what? After, no problem. Prophet of Allah, he used to pray the 2 sunnah, which is the dhuhr, after what? Asr. No problem. Because he was having, sometimes the people came to him to divide zakah, he was busy, couldn't do it, forgot it. But if you pushed it deliberately, then you cannot make up for that. If you pushed it deliberately, you cannot make up for that. So if you have pushed a sunnah or a fard deliberately, you cannot make up for that. The sunnah, you're not going to be sin, so there's no problem about it. But the fard, you have to repent to Allah and increase in voluntary, as we have said before. Some of those days, that even if you miss them, you cannot make up for them. If you miss them, even if you forgot, you slept through, or something had happened, you cannot make up for that day. Like Arafah. Let's say that you were caught and you slept, let's say, in Mina. And you woke up and nobody woke you up, let's say, until the day after Arafah. Can you make Arafah on the day of Eid? Al-Hajj Arafah. Hajj is Arafah. You miss Arafah, you miss the whole Hajj. Yes, you're not going to be sinned. Nothing, because you've been sleeping. But we don't tell you make the 9th on the 10th. Or make the 9th after the Eid, on the 11th, because you missed it. So to do with the following year. Now, as for the fasting, person who fasts al-Ithnain or al-Khamis. He fasts al-Ithnain, which is Monday, al-Khamis, which is... Somehow he forgot. Or he had a medicine. Or he was a journey. Does he have to make up for that Ithnain al-Khamis? No. Why? Because the Prophet ﷺ, he said that if a person had been in the chains of Allah, which is restricted in the traveling or illness, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would tell his angels, write everything that my slave used to do when he was healthy and resident. And that's a good thing. There are some ibadah attached to a time, particular time. So Allah Azza wa Jal, He says, you don't have to do them. So for example, person who does qiyam, he slept. What did the Prophet say? He who intended to make qiyam, and then he slept, then it will be recorded for him that he did qiyam, وَكَانَ نَوْمُهُ صَدَقَةً. And Allah has given him sleep as what? Sadaqah, charity for you, khalas. You slept, and you'll be recorded for you that you made qiyam. Same thing with the day of al-Ithnain wal-Khamis. You had something healthy, but if you push it deliberately, you cannot make al-Ithnain to the Thalatha. Because what is so special about Ithnain? What is it? It is the deeds are lifted up. Same thing with the Khamis. And it's a day as well where the Prophet of Allah was born and the Prophet of Allah received what? Revelation. Alhamdulillah, we talked about the month of Sha'baan. So, what time is it, Fred? 6:30. We don't have time to go into Ramadan, but I will from next week talk about the month of Ramadan from the book of Al-Wajiz, okay? So I'll finish, inshallah, the book, the chapter of Siyam from next week and the week after. Have any questions, please go ahead. Fadl.
If you're traveling during Ramadan, you find it easy to compensate it, or you can fast if you're traveling,
which one is better for me if I am traveling, to fast or take the concession? Of course, it's going to be discussed into our chapter which we talk about Siyam, but it's a question, I have to answer it. For Bodily, that depends. The companions used to travel with the Prophet ﷺ. And the Prophet of Allah during the month of Ramadan used to fast. Some of the companions used to fast, some of them they did not fast. And Abu Sa'id al-Khudri says, for the ones who used to fast, they never bully the ones who do not fast. And the one who do not fast, they will not say something wrong about the one who fasts. That means the one who do not fast will not say to the one who fasts, why are you making yourself so much righteous by fasting during the traveling? And the one who fasts will not go to the one who do not fast, why you are sort of spoiled? You know, journey doesn't really affect you, why do you fast? So these, لا كان لا يعيب أحدهم على الآخر. They will not talk about ill about one another. But the Prophet ﷺ, he made it very clear. لَيْسَ مِنَ الْبِرِّ الصِّيَامُ فِي السَّفَرِ. If you think that if you fast during the journey, because you are in agonization and tiredness, you're going to gain more reward, you're wrong. Whatever you do in the fast from the journey or the fast during the days, you're going to get the same reward. So it is not more righteousness, birr, that if you start fasting while you're a traveler. Actually, you'll be sinned if your journey is going to affect your health so much that you need to break your fast, but because you are showing off or you don't want people to talk about you, so you kept fasting until you drop down to your face. It's not allowed. You're sinful. So you need to make sure as well that this concession, that is where the concession says, the Prophet of Allah, إِنَّ اللَّهَ يُحِبُّ أَن تُؤْتَى رُخَصُ كَمَا يَكْرَهُ أَن تُؤْتَى الْمَعَاصِي. Allah loves His concession to be embarked upon, just like He hates for His sins to be embarked upon. Another hadith He says, كَمَا يُحِبُّ أَن تُؤْتَى عَزَائِمُ. Both are to be correct. And as much as He likes your obligatory to be performed, He likes His concession to be taken. Concession here is if you are a traveler, you are ill, then فَعِدَّةٌ مِنْ أَيَّامٍ أُخَرَ. Take another day instead. But the question still poses, which one is better? That depends upon the person. If he thinks that the fast will affect him while he's traveling, then the concession is there without the intention, that is, I want to compensate them in the winter, like that man. I will compensate them whenever I'm capable of doing so. So, if you have that, then it's better to have the concession. But if you think it's not going to affect you, plus I don't have time to make up, it's going to be more difficult because I'm from one journey to another journey to another journey, and you know, it's not going to be as well very encouraging for me to fast while everybody's breaking the fast, while it's very easy for me to fast while everybody's fasting, then I would say to you, fasting is better than concession. But if it is the same, like whether you are fasting or not fasting, and compensating for you, it's going to be easy, then it's left for you. It's mubah. It's up to you. Because as I said, sometimes the person himself, he even though he thinks that compensation is easy, but he cannot guarantee it. Is it going to be easier than his journey when he's traveling on board of a plane, no tiredness, especially if you're traveling against the sun, your day is going to half. You know that. If you're traveling to China, the month of Ramadan, I was traveling to Jordan on the day of fasting, and I was fasting. And I broke the fast before you guys, 2 to 3 hours. 3 hours before you. So I broke, if the fast was here 9 o'clock, I broke the fast when it was 6 o'clock England time. Because it was what? Heading towards the east, against the sun. As soon as I see the sun, mashallah, disappeared. I could, because on top of the everything, I could see the sun, there is no sun. Somebody said, there's a light, the light's not going to go, brother. The sun has disappeared. And there's no mountain to hide the sun. It's clear. So, and it was behind us. The sun was behind us. Alhamdulillah, we broke the fast. So it was easy. Inshallah. Right, last question before 26 comes in. 26 is the event. Further, Doctor.
So the speak about the marriage of the two types of people who are not forgiven. 15.
Yeah, quickly.
Is
there اختلاف regarding the hadith ينزل الله تبارك وتعالى ليلة النصف من شعبان إلى السماء الدنيا فيغفر جميع خلقه إلا إنسان في قلبه شحناء أو مشرك بالله عز وجل رواه ابن حبان وغيره. Yes, there is a difference among the scholars regarding this hadith, its authenticity. But the one who's made it unauthentic, they are not as strong in terms of hadith-wise and specialty-wise than the ones who have made it authentic. So for the ones who made it unauthentic, actually, as I said, most of them are scholars of the fiqh. For the hadith is made authentic by major scholars, and the unauthenticity is being explained by the ones who made it authentic. I'm not going to go into the details of that, but you could go through that with the Shaykh Rahmatullah alayh regarding this hadith, who had made it authentic, and the discussion of that being said verbally, talking, and as well by writing. وسبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك.